Okay, today's video is going to be a fun one. This is one I've been planning for a long time. I've actually been thinking about this one, or at least this topic, in my mind for years, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's it's kind of a funny one, but I hope it you can think through, and I hope it provides you with some interesting insights into how you work and how others around you work. So it's called Bull in a China Shop. And really, what we want to do is understand how our behaviors and thought patterns impact those around us. And the first thing is knowing your bull is the first step. So let's just cut to the chase. We're all bulls. Okay, so if you thought coming into this, maybe you knew some of the topic that this was going to be a classification of bulls or not bulls. No, we're all bulls. And so we can just all admit to it ourselves that we're in life, we're all bulls. And life is a China shop. So very dangerous pattern here. Bulls in China shop is not a good thing. But it's reality. Okay, we're all bulls, and life is a very fragile place, especially in technology. Technology is very, very fragile, and humans are all bulls. Okay, so when you're in a bull in a China shop, picture that. Picture a bull in a China shop having to navigate through the China shop to get from the front door to the back door, and that's what life is. So just kind of picture what a bull in a China shop might look like, and I can help you with that. So this is what comes to my mind for years. It reminds me of my childhood. There was a commercial in the 80s for Merrill Lynch, and it goes something like this.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling. One wrong move can easily damage the best laid plans. At Merrill Lynch, we know that size and strength can be very valuable. But it is our sensitivity to your investment goals and agility in helping you reach them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
So I remember that from my childhood, and as I was thinking through this over the years, that commercial was always in my head. And the reason why this came up to me is that there's this recognition, especially in technology. If you don't understand the impact that you're having and the way that your work patterns affect others and affect systems, you can have really disastrous effects. Throughout my career, I've worked with lots and lots and lots of different people in the church space, in the corporate world, and I've seen all types. I've seen people who make royal messes and have no idea what's going on, and I've seen people who have been very cautious. And comparing and contrasting the difference was insightful to me, and making sure that I could encourage myself to do better. And so in the beginning, I only saw one type of bull. I thought, well, there's bulls and there's not bulls. And then in evaluating and thinking through and reflecting more, I think there's actually four types of bulls. Okay, so let's look at them. The first and most dangerous is the bull who has no idea that they're a bull. They're clueless that they're a bull, and they're very clueless that they're in a China shop. And so their actions are very impactful to their space, whether it be technical or non-technical, but especially in the technical space. So they're knocking over dishes, aisles. What are those? Like I just got to get through from the front of the store to the back of the store. Let's go. And they have no idea behind them that they're knocking over all this stuff, and that people are having to pick it up, clean it up, fix it. They're just completely clueless that they are a bull in a China shop. So this is the worst thing you could be. And so reflect on that. Where do I fall on that? If you deny that you're a bull and you deny you're in a China shop, that's where I would think you're maybe fooling yourself. You definitely are a bull. You definitely are in a China shop. So reflect on, maybe, do you have a clue that you're the bull? The next one is the careless bull. So the careless bull is like, okay, I'm a bull. There's a China shop. I don't know. I'm not gonna really worry about it. I'm just gonna go the best I can from the front to the back. I'm not really gonna map my route through the China shop. I'm not really gonna think of what's the safest way to go through that. What's the biggest aisle? What's the smallest aisle? I'm a bull. It's a China shop. I'm just gonna do my best. I'm just gonna walk through and do my best. better than the person who doesn't know they're a bull, right? There's going to be less breakage, but there's still going to be a significant amount of breakage. So this isn't necessarily the best option, but it also isn't necessarily the least option. The next one is the paralyzed bull. This is the one who says, oh my gosh, I'm a bull. I'm in a china shop. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stay here. I'm afraid of everything. I don't want to break anything. And so what you see with this type of person is they're just too nervous. They don't want to jump in, get their hands dirty, and figure this out. They'd rather just sweat and overanalyze, but not really make any decisions, not take calculated risks. So they're very afraid. This is probably better than the bull who's destroying the china shop, but not really too much better, because we got to get through this thing. We can't just stay where we are. We need to move forward. We have things to do. We have solutions that are needed. You can't be paralyzed. And so that leads us to the fourth bull, which is the cautious bull. They realize they're a bull. They realize they're in a china shop, and they do the best that they can to get through this. Hey, I'm just going to drive through this. I'm going to map out my route. I'm not going to start until I have that route. I'm going to find the widest aisles. I'm going to move with caution. I'm not going to make any sudden movements, but we're going to move, and we're going to get to the other side, and we're going to have the least plates broken as possible. And so think through those four. Go back through, maybe rewind the video, watch them again, and try to identify which one you are. And it might be that in different areas of life, you're different bulls. Maybe when it comes to technology, you're actually very cautious, but maybe in your personal life, you're not. But just realize that even in your personal life, there's the actions that you're taking are having consequences on people all around you. And if you don't understand that, you can hurt people, and you can cause those relationships to be strained. So that's kind of the four bull concept. And again, I challenge you to kind of reflect on that. And since we're talking about analogies, and especially animal analogies, let's just shift gears and let's just add a few more animals that we can talk about. And was going to make this a separate video, but I really think both of these kind of fit together, the same purpose, and together separately they'd be very short. But in this second part, the second phase, I want to talk about the meerkat and the mole. Now, I'm going to use some analogies here that are really more around programming, but it really is the same for almost any kind of technical space. And it's how our mindset is while we're trying to create a solution. So let's look at each animal, and we'll start with the mole. So say I'm a developer, and I'm a mole, and my tendency is to be more mole-like. That's hard to say. And I'm going to go from, where I am now, which is no solution, to where I want to be, which is a full solution. But I'm just going to dig in the ground. I'm just going to go, okay, let's go over here, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this method. I'm going to do that. Oh, that's not going to work. I need to refactor that. And so your path is not well planned out, and therefore you're making loops, and you're going all around, and your code's getting kind of messy. And you just keep digging deeper. No matter how far down you go, you just keep digging deeper and digging deeper. Like you're just going to mole your way through it. You often don't have the best solution when you're done. It's not clean. It took you a lot longer, did a lot of refactoring. And if you're writing something new, you really shouldn't have any refactoring. You should have had a plan, more or less, and you should drive to it. So the mole, as they go through, they're blind, and they just keep digging deeper, no matter what. Their solution to every little problem or big problem as they go is just to keep digging. Whereas the meerkat, will dig, and is actually a very good digger, but occasionally they're going to stand up and they're going to look around. They're going to look around for predators. They're going to look around to make sure they're going the right direction, look around and see what everybody else is doing. And so this is something, as I'm developing or creating a solution, I'm very cognizant, because sometimes it's not that you're always a mole or always a meerkat. Sometimes it's in the exact case or that day. Are you being a meerkat in this case? Do I need to I keep feeling like I'm not really driving in a straight line. Let's take a few steps back. Let's look around, make sure I'm looking at the big picture. And you've probably experienced this. Maybe someone brings you something and they show it to you what they've done, and you're just kind of reviewing it, and you're looking at well, why did you do it this way? It seems like you're kind of making all these loops to do something you could just go in a straight line. And then they look at you and they're like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, that was the case where they were kind of mulling through their solution. And we're all guilty of that. Sometimes we've probably brought work to other people and they just thought, well, why'd you do it that way? You should have just done this. And you're like, oh, of course. We got stuck in mole-like tendencies. But a meerkat is probably going to be able to do that for themselves. If they stop, look around, rethink this, I'm like, am I really going in the right direction? What's a better way to do this? Let me just take a few steps back and make sure I'm looking at it the right way. We can often get a much better path. Maybe it's not an exact straight line, but there's no loops in it, and it's a much cleaner solution. So these are two animal analogies that I would challenge you to think about, and think about it in terms of holistically, which of these are most accurate for you. And then in each use case, as you're down, digging through a solution, think, okay, which bull am I being right now in this use case? Am I being a meerkat or a mole? And just turn this into kind of a thought process or a thinking game to help you improve the quality of your work products and the quality of the thinking.